Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. I am Stephen Boster, your co-host, along with the one, the only Mr. Michael Shanks, fresh back from the wilderness. Good to see you, Mike. Welcome. Say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land. I guess I put my Beskar helmet back on. I did watch your intro last week. And a big shout out and thank you to Mr. Brian Ramsey. You are awesome. Thank you very much.
Yes, Brian Ramsey with Three Geeky Dads. Everybody make sure you check out their podcast. And you know what? I discovered them on they posted on being on what was it? Oh, I sent you the link. What was it called? Good Pods?
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, how cool is, because they were like ranking in the top rankings in some of like horror and some DC. And I was like, what? That's awesome.
I don't think anybody's listening to us over there.
Right. I was like, we got to get on there.
If anyone knows how we promote over there, okay, great. Show us how.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, goodpods.com. They rank really well. It's a great podcast, Three Geeky Dads and Tito with Tito. And just encourage everybody to check them out on there. So yeah. Okay, man.
We listened to a lot of nerdery and murdery while we were on our little weekend getaway.
Did you get caught up?
Almost. I'm still a couple episodes behind. I'm also behind on Three Geeky Dads, so please don't be mad at me, guys. I'm getting there. Although Jeff did steal our little whole if you donate to us, it helps go to the Lamborghini fund. So and he mentioned us too. So
that's awesome.
So a shout out to Jeff and Zig of Nerdery and Murdery. Those guys are awesome.
Nerdery.
Yeah. We like their shit.
Yep. Yes, we do.
All right.
Brenda says we both have an echo.
Oh, really?
Or it may be just Facebook, she said.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it is because I don't hear it on my end. Megan, do you hear an echo? Oh.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, so moving on to Geekdar.
Dun, 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 dun.
You Geekdar first, right?
It doesn't matter.
All right. Moving on to Geekdar.
Well, you don't need that, Private. We're right here. Now, what is it? Now, what is it?
I'm having trouble with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
Actually, I think we do the news first, but that's okay. We'll
right.
do Geekdar it first today. It doesn't really matter, does
We're
it?
mixing it up.
I'm gone for a weekend. I forget how we do everything.
Right.
So,
I'm just kidding.
I have a couple things on my Geekdar. I don't know about you, Steven. If you got anything, I'll let you go first.
No, I do have something for Geeky News today, but I don't have Geekdar.
Okay. So my Geekdar, Brendan and I finished watching Picard. We've watched all 3 seasons now. I will give season 1 a thumbs up. Good.
Season 1, thumbs up. Okay.
Season 2, Steven skipped that entire season. It sucks. So I will give that 2 thumbs down.
Okay.
Horrible. I mean,
is that the one with Q? Q's in the season 2,
Q,
right?
Which is so disappointing because I always loved Q in Next Generation. I always loved the episodes he was in. I thought he's a great actor. And I don't know, he put them on Earth in 2024, and it's like, okay, I watched Star Trek to get Star Trek, not Star Trek to get Earth. Earth
Right.
in current time.
Right.
I'm like, this is just it was terrible. Just skip season 2. Steven, skip season 2.
Okay.
And then season 3 is pretty much the next generation.
Okay.
I mean, I put up a meme last week also saying, with a picture of the cast on the bridge of the Enterprise D. I think it's D. I'm not as big a Trekkie as I am Star Wars. Anyway, with the cast on the Enterprise, on the bridge of the Enterprise, and I said, apparently Paramount learned from Disney's mistakes, and they put everybody together and gave the fans what they wanted. Because that's the moment we wanted in Star Wars. We wanted to see Han, Luke, Leia, Chewie, R2, and 3PO all together on the Falcon. That's what we all wanted, and we never got it. It was a missed opportunity, and Paramount did such a better job. And I would give season 3 2 thumbs up. There were some things that got kind of goofy, like some stuff with the Borg Queen that was like, wait a minute, doesn't that kind of contradict last season? Oh wait, last season sucked anyway. It didn't count. So
can you skip season 1 and 2 and just go straight to 3?
I think you could. I didn't want to do that because my geeky brain wouldn't allow me to. Actually, I reached out to Jason Swank of Rebel Force Radio because I know he's a fan of Picard. And he goes, yeah, you can actually just go into season 3, watch season 3, and then go back and watch season 1. And he even said, he goes, season 2 is terrible. So
I gotcha. Okay.
But I wanted to watch season 1, and I'm kind of glad I did because it gave me a little more perspective of how things were going. There's some things that happen with Picard that they don't necessarily, you have to necessarily know them to understand what's happening in season 3, but I think it helps give a little perspective. You know what I mean? But yeah, you could theoretically just watch season 3 and be okay. So that's that's my one Geek Dar.
Okay.
My second Geek Dar will be about 3:50 this afternoon. I am seeing Return of the Jedi in the theaters again. Yes.
Yay.
Anniversary showing. I can't wait.
It's not playing where I live.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You can live vicariously through me.
Okay.
So about 3:50, or I guess 4:50 your time.
No, I'm an hour behind you.
Oh, that's right. So about 2:50 this afternoon, just put Return of the Jedi on, and we'll watch it together.
There you go. Right on.
All right. So that's my Geek Dar. So we'll move into Geeky News. All right. For Geeky News, I've got a couple things here.
Okay.
First thing, and this is from Collider. So you remember how I said the Batman animated series that got axed by HBO Max, how it was picked up by Amazon Prime?
Yeah, and I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, Collider's reporting it's not the only Batman animated that's being picked up by Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, 2 other things that were axed are getting picked up. One is called Merry Little Batman, which by the synopsis that I read, it's almost putting Damian in a situation of what's the Christmas movie with Kevin? Home
Alone.
Yeah, thank you. It's almost a Home Alone Batman movie is what it sounds like to me. So it's supposed to be very family friendly, very tongue-in-cheek type thing, which I'm sure it will be. Although I'm sure Damian's going to be pretty brutal to whoever it is that he's taking on.
Right.
So we have that. That's going to Amazon Prime. And then there was another one called what is it? I lost the name of it. Dang it. Oh, the Bat Family. That's right. The Bat Family is also moving to, and it says that it's another very family-friendly oriented show. So it might be a little kiddish, but we'll have to check it out and find out. So
it should be interesting. 3
Batman animated projects heading to Amazon Prime. Take that, Steven.
Until it's released, we'll see.
Now, there's an awful lot getting said about this. So,
right.
Then moving on to a article from Screen Rant. Apparently, the first images of Rey alongside the Jedi New Order symbol have been released. Apparently, they were actually photographed for promotion for Rise of Skywalker, but they're repurposing them for upcoming books and possibly the movie that's coming out. I say
movie. Possibly.
I'll believe that one when I see it's released, because I don't believe it's ever going to get released. I do believe the books will come out, because they will try and push this whole Rey as the founder of the New Order. I have mixed feelings on that. She's not really a Skywalker. I'm sorry.
Well, no, but she still is the heir to the Force kind of a situation, the way they've played it. If they write it well, I won't have any issues with it.
You realize Palpatine won, right? He wins in the end.
In what
She's
way?
his granddaughter.
And that means what?
And she's taking over. Palpatine's won. His bloodline takes over. He wins.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, because it's not the Sith. It's, she's rebuilding the Jedi Order. If anything, it's a slap in the face kind of a thing of, you didn't win because I'm not a Sith.
Okay, this is what I got to say.
Oh, the Jedi. Whatever. Yeah.
All right. Moving right along, though, for my last geeky news. Apparently, Tamora Morrison made an appearance at a convention this past weekend.
In Australia, mate.
And, he made some interesting comments. Tamora had said that he thought that he was supposed to have, or not just he, because he did have an appearance in season 3 of Mandalorian, but he thought Boba Fett was supposed to have another appearance in The Mandalorian. And he made some comments. He said, I was supposed to be in The Mandalorian season 3, but nobody rang me. I was waiting for the phone call in New Zealand, waiting and wanting to give up. So apparently he's a little frustrated, it sounds like. He went on to say, well, that Mando guy, they said that this was kind of taken in tongue-in-cheek.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, that Mando guy stole a few chapters from my book. It was painful watching him turn up with some black new lethal sword, and the way he turned up in my book, in my book of Boba Fett, he just destroyed everybody. I'm sure this guy is ruining my show, but I couldn't say anything. I'm not the writer, so I have to bear it, I guess. So,
right.
I've seen interviews with Tamara. He's a very fun-loving guy. He's always smiling. I've never seen the guy in a bad mood ever, so I'm sure that was all tongue in cheek, but it does sound like he's a little frustrated. He does go on to say that he was told on the set, because he did appear as one of the clones, just a small cameo. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was in Kenobi that he appeared as a clone, or did he appear in a clone? I don't know. Anyway. But he was told that Disney's making some changes. They're cutting back. And he goes, and when you hear those words, there's no renegotiating how much money you're going to make or anything to that extent. So I don't know what Tamara Morrison's future is with Star Wars. I hope to see him again because I love him. And I love Boba Fett. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So
sure.
Ultimately, I would like to see a season 2 of Boba Fett. I still enjoyed season 1. I know that had some issues here and there, and he wasn't the Boba Fett we all imagined he would be, but I still thought it was a good show. I still enjoyed
Mhm.
it. You know, he still kicked butt. You know, it was
Right.
cool. So I'd like to see his season 2. And
Yeah.
I'd love to see him come back as Captain Rex somewhere. That'd be awesome. You know,
Right. That'd be
I mean,
good. You think he'll be in Ahsoka?
I'm hoping so. He even said he doesn't know if he'll come back for that, or he doesn't know if they'll have him back for that. I don't think there's a question that he would come back. You know, Tim loves the character. He loves playing it. So
Mhm.
I don't think there's any question with that. It's just, is Disney going to have him back?
Mhm.
I
It
would
be
love,
cool to see him as an aged
Rex with Ahsoka side by side kicking
Yeah.
butt.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be?
That
Just
would be
another
awesome.
Clone Wars, you know. Oh, so good. Anyway.
That would be good.
Oh, you said you had something for the news too.
I do. So, Wizards of the Coast was in the news this last week, sort of. Again, they were the ones that with they own D&D and they had the open gaming license. We've talked about it in the past, but
Right.
they also own Magic the Gathering. And stuff.
Yeah, they kind of combined Magic into D&D, haven't they?
No, not that I'm aware of. We'll have to ask Angie when she's back.
I don't know. I've seen some products that look like there's some crossover. You know?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. So anyway, the there's a YouTuber, very small channel. It's like maybe 4,000 people or whatever. And he normally gets, he orders new Magic the Gathering cards and he'll do openings, on there. We've got some, you introduced me to friends that do that with Pokemon cards on Twitch.
Yeah.
Well, he does the same thing, but does it on YouTube, but he does it with Magic the Gathering. Well, he gets this box and he opens it, and it's to a brand new set of Magic the Gathering cards. It's like seasons. They have different seasons and they new cards and stuff. And over a 3-day period of time, he's not even a part-time content creator. So he, Angie said no to our answer if they were doing a crossover. Thank you, Angie. Angie's on. Hi, Angie. So he sends them, he opens them up, and he shows probably about, it's guesstimated 75% of the set. Well, the Pinkertons come knocking on his door.
Somebody told me about this. Yeah.
Yes. And the way he tells the story is they asked, his wife answered the door. They asked for him by name, full name, kind of a thing. And they said they had tried to make phone calls and, repeated attempts to contact him. So they came to his door, and they were evidently, the way I read the article, they were very rude. They argued with her so much so they were aggressive in trying to get in. It's like she tried to shut the door and they put their foot in the door, kind of a thing. And they were demanding the cards back because technically they were unreleased. It's a set that doesn't come out till next week.
So how did he get this set?
Well, that's what everyone's trying to figure out. And they think it was really a shipping issue. Like whoever, when he ordered, some sets or whatever, that it was, he thought when he received it, it was released, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And so it technically, it's unreleased. So it's quote unquote an embargo. You know how they kind of embargo, you can't talk about movies for a certain period of time.
Right,
and same kind of thing.
NDAs.
Yeah. So they threatened with 1 to 10 years in prison and a $200,000 fine.
Okay. My question is, who threatened him?
The Pinkerton agency did,
Okay.
representing Wizards of the Coast.
Okay. Now I have some issues with this, and I actually brought this up to the person who told me this yesterday, as a matter of fact. First of all Pinkerton is a security company. They're not police.
Right.
They have no law enforcement, technically. They're just a security company. I know this. My dad worked for Pinkerton for years, for a long, long time. Okay. He was a field officer for many years, and then he just became a guard at a bank for the last so many years he worked there, and then he retired.
Right.
So I know what Pinkerton. Yes, I know Pinkerton's history too. There is an interesting history about Pinkerton that goes way back to.
Oh man, we're talking 1800s, right?
Yeah, early 1800s, late 1700s, early in our American history. So I question some of the validity of this story. It is an interesting story, and it does blow my mind. But
right,
yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so what does Angie say? Some streamers have had access to early shipments, and some received them by mistake. Oh, okay, well, that's not his fault. I mean,
see, that's my point. I mean, he cooperated in that kind of a thing and stuff like that. But I think what happened was, personally, is the Wizards of the Coast probably did hire Pinkertons to find this guy.
Right, sure.
Because it's stuff that's embargoed. And I think these two individuals,
I would have called their bluff. I would have been like, okay, fine. Where's your warrant?
Yeah.
Because first of all, you can't come busting into my house. You're not a cop.
And you can't threaten. You can't threaten me with legal action verbally.
Exactly. And even a cop can't come busting into your home like that.
Right.
He has to have a warrant for it.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, okay. Yeah. I mean, the validity might be true. They may have been trying to bluff him just to get him.
I think it was all a bluff to scare them and stuff. And I don't know if I agree with that tactics. And I don't know if I agree with Wizards of the Coast taking that kind of an action.
The tactics are terrible.
Tactics are terrible. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, a great news story.
Right. You got us talking.
Awesome. Okay. We ready to move on to our main event?
Let's do this.
All right.
It's time for the main event. Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
I'm trying to get to the comments. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't have the comments up while we're doing all our beginning stuff. So,
Angie said, yes, it was thrown out by a judge because badge or no badge. That is a breaking and entering.
Yeah.
B&E.
Yeah, I agree. That is.
Yeah.
All right. So for our main event, we are going to be discussing Green Lantern, Beware My Power. So Green Lantern, Beware My Power is a straight to video animated film done by DC, Warner Brothers.
Does it fall under the DC animated universe, the DCAU? Is that what it's called?
So. I don't know if that's actually the official name, especially now,
Oh, yes. Yeah. Now with James Gunn. That's right.
Right. I have no idea what James Gunn considers this. I don't know if it's canon. I have no clue. Whatever. Right. Anyway, it came out in 2022. It's an hour and 28 minutes in length, and it stars Aldous Hodge as the voice of Green Lantern. Aldous Hodge, you might remember, played Hawkman in the Black Adam film that was just released last year. So I really like him, and I loved him as the voice of Jon Stewart. I should have looked up who voiced Jon Stewart in the Justice League animated series, but I didn't do that. I didn't go that far. But I thought he did a fabulous job. I really like his voice. Great job as Jon Stewart. And I have to admit, Jon Stewart is not my favorite Green Lantern. My favorite Green Lantern is Hal Jordan. Hal is the best. In fact, I would put John at maybe tied for third. I was thinking about this earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I put Hal on top, of course. Hal is the best Green Lantern. And they even mention that in the movie, by the way. He's the greatest Green Lantern ever in the universe. I love that. They do say that in the film. And I would put Kilgore as my second favorite. He's the big, huge creature, alien creature. I love him. And then third, like I said, John would actually, I think, come in as a tie for third place. I love, and I don't remember if it's Rue or Two, Tamu Rue or Tamu 2. He's kind of the fish head looking guy. But I really like that Green Lantern. He's really cool, real powerful.
Okay.
Very wise. Just a really good Green Lantern altogether. So I think I would tie John with him. I think those two come as a tie. So he is still up there. You know, it's not like I don't like John Stewart. In fact, when John Stewart first came out, I didn't like him. I thought he was boring. But
okay.
I think the Justice League animated helped me like him a lot more. Gave a lot more perspective to his character. And I enjoyed him more.
Let's do this for a second, because just to give people context, because we really haven't. The film is about John Stewart's origin and how he comes into it. So
right, and that's why I wanted to iterate where he stands in my rankings, because this is his film. It's not Hal Jordan's film. It is John Stewart's film. I wasn't sure how true the origin of the John Stewart Green Lantern was in this, because I never really heard his origin story. So I guess it makes sense.
Because you thought he was boring, so you didn't get into it.
And I can't talk. Anyway, well, I wanted to give a little more perspective on John Stewart, so I got out my DC Bible and just thought I'd read a little bit from his stats. So John Stewart, of course, that's his real name. He's 6'1". He weighs 210 pounds. He has black eyes and brown hair. His powers and abilities are indomitable willpower, commanding a power ring that is able to materialize hard light constructs, which is very, the same thing as all the Green Lanterns for the most part. Translates languages, facilitates in-planet and intergalactic flight, and protects against the hostile environments and enemy attacks. Vast knowledge of architecture and construction, and that's important to him.
Interesting.
Too.
Okay.
Yeah. Military training and natural leader. Allies is the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern Guy Gardner, and Fatality. I don't know who Fatality is. Enemies are Darkstar, Sinestro, and Legion of Doom. Affiliations, Green Lantern Corps, and Justice League. John Stewart is the go-to leader of the Green Lantern Corps, a natural leader with a tactical military-trained mind. John has also been a frequent member of the Justice League and can step up to command the Justice League when needed or take orders when a mission doesn't fall under his realm of expertise. A longtime Green Lantern, John has felt the weight of making mistakes in his dangerous field, and he has sworn not to repeat them at any cost. I think we kind of see that in the film a little bit too, because he's very hesitant about taking the ring, and part of that is just not having the knowledge and understanding.
I'll save that when we get kind of to the film itself.
And real quick, I just wanted to get into this. John Stewart was a sniper for the U.S. Marines. Knowing the darkness that came with the following orders, he decided to leave that life behind him, and he became an architect. Now, I didn't know that. He would soon discover a career that combined both his passions for design and efficiency and his need to protect and serve when he was brought into the Green Lantern Corps as Hal Jordan's backup and after successfully passing the Guardians of the Universe test. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't realize that he was an architect, which really plays into the fact that he can make all the incredible things with his ring. Hal Jordan is known for his incredible willpower and his imagination to do all these wild things with the rings that most lanterns had never thought of. So I think John, being an architect, helps put him kind of right behind Hal in that same, imaginative realm, So I thought that was interesting. I like that he's a Marine, a sniper for the Marines. I think that's a cool background for him. So, I learned a few things with this and makes Jon Stewart a little bit cooler in my eyes.
Yeah. I only knew Jon Stewart as being kind of I guess I always viewed him as the heir apparent to Hal Jordan kind of a thing.
Sure.
And I really hadn't seen anything of him or anything like that. And, Green Lantern, I mean, we talked about this a long time ago, the different colors and all that, just how expanded just that portion of, the DC universe, just Green Lantern is its own mythos.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, I was like, I don't know if I can get into this. Do I have time to, and I've always been interested because especially when we talked about the series or one of the things I looked at as part of that was the Darkest Day, Brightest Night kind of a thing as a series. And I'm going to bring that. I'm saying that because I'm bringing it up later, but I was just like,
that is a vast series.
It's
by the
huge.
way.
It is huge. Yeah. And I think Amazon was doing like a special deal on it if you wanted to get the hardbacks all together kind of thing.
We got DC Infinite.
I know, right? But anyway, I know that's why I didn't get it. So anyway, so I was just like, well.
I mean, I got DC Infinite. Not we.
Right.
We can't say we.
Right. Shh. I've got Marvel Unlimited. Okay. So that's how you make the best of your money, everybody. We share for the show.
It is for the show, by the way.
It is. So I'll say this. I like Jon Stewart. I was excited about watching the movie when you talked about us watching it on HBO Max. I was like, oh, okay. I guess soon to be Max, just Max.
Yeah. Later this month.
Is it? Okay. So then, so Angie goes, we don't talk about that. Sharing the resources. So, I like Jon Stewart. I liked it. I liked how he was a vet. I get, they brought up, some of the, some PTSD.
Yep.
And all that. It didn't see anything about the architect thing.
It didn't. That was all, like I said, in the DC Bible.
In the DC Bible.
I call it the DC Bible, but it's the.
Is it the DK one?
It's the DK Encyclopedia.
I love their stuff. Yeah, I like their stuff. So then, so I can we must be a few minutes behind everybody because here's Angie. Here comes Angie. She goes, we can neither confirm or deny the sharing of resources. I love it.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
What? So I'll say this. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I like the fact that he's like, I don't want this thing. I'm like, seriously? Really? Come on.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I should have a Green Lantern ring. I thought I had one. I don't know where it went to though.
We used to have rings.
Yeah, I think Megan and I both had Green Lantern rings at one point. I should have bought one for this. Right. Next time we do a Green Lantern video, I'm having a ring.
Right on.
I'm gonna get a ring.
Right. I love it.
Okay. My thought for our rating scale.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we have to go power rings, right? I mean,
yes, sounds good to me.
Okay, so
what color?
Well, we got to go green for this one. I mean, green and yellow were really the only colors in this one. So
true,
and we got it's John's movie, so we got to go green. I mean, if this was the Sinestro movie, we'd go yellow, definitely.
Right.
But since it's John's movie. Oh yeah, that's another. That was kind of a bummer. But anyway,
all I have to say is it's not easy being green.
You said that in the intro too.
That's
all
right.
So with all said, John not being my all-time favorite Green Lantern, and I wasn't sure what I was getting into with this film because I didn't really know what the premise of the film was going to be.
I didn't either.
I didn't read the synopsis. I just jumped right into the movie.
Same here.
Because I am a Green Lantern fan. I love the Green Lantern Corps as a whole. and I enjoy that very much. So with that being said, I really enjoyed this movie. It brought my liking of Jon Stewart up a bit.
Mhm.
I thought he was great in this movie. I thought the character was really good. I don't think he's boring anymore. I think he's a lot more interesting now.
Yes.
That was years ago. That was years and years ago. That was before the Justice League animated. So I was a kid back then. Anyway, I would actually give this a 9 out of 10 power rings, green power rings.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed this movie. And if you're a Green Lantern fan, I would recommend this film.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going that high.
Thanks, Angie.
Angie's got to run. Yep. Thank you, Angie. I will say this. I give it a good solid 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I will say this. I enjoyed the story. I didn't know a lot about some of the things, and I was like, okay, that's okay. That's good for the story and stuff. It's, I did not like, I really got turned off every time Hawk Girl spoke. I got tired of it.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
The whole
See, I
thing.
liked Hawk Girl. I thought she did a good job.
It was good. It was good, but I got the whole thing, the attitude of, it was the attitude of, they're the bad guys, that other alien race, that they're the bad guys, and blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that. About the time that, who was it that said it? That it was just like, okay, stop. You got to stop. That whole thing. I think it was Oliver. It was Green Arrow that said, about the time he said in the movie, stop. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. It's too repetitive. It's too this whole thing. They're kind of a thing. Now,
I think that's a fair, I think you got a fair take on it. I just enjoyed Hawk Girl though.
She was great. She was a good character. That whole character.
Sure.
I don't know if they were trying to do an arc or something, but I'm like, come on, you got to move her needle, man. I
think they were just trying to establish that the two different races were.
Yeah, but I got that the first 100 times she said something.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. I get where you're going with it.
Yeah. Now I will say, this is non-spoilery, but there's a certain part that is spoilery that I'm not going to mention, but I enjoyed, and we'll get into it. That I was like, oh,
there's a specific scene that I totally geeked out on. And went, oh yes.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to talking about it. And then in that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Ooh, okay, I didn't know that about this history. And then when it went to,
yeah,
I was like. I like
there was a twist to where they went, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize they were going there." Okay,
I knew nothing of this, and I was shocked. That was really good. That's why I give it a good solid 7 for sure, because I think the arc was good. The main nemesis, I was like, okay, I figured, but that's okay. This is good. I don't think there's not enough understanding of some of those characters, even though I'm sure some of the characters on the evil supervillain side, some of those I thought were really interesting. And I think I wanted to know more, but if you knew it going into it, I think you would have, if you were someone who knew the Green Lantern stories, knew those characters, it'd been really neat. I just didn't know who they were, so I was kind of left lacking understanding some things. But
so which characters did you not know?
We'll get into the.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to spoil anything. So.
All right. So I mean, because the main characters, the core ones, you already knew. I mean, you knew Green Lantern, you knew Hawk Girl, and you knew. Green Arrow. Course, Green Arrow. Green Arrow is one of your favorites too.
I love Green Arrow, yeah. So yes, yeah.
Green Lantern and Green Arrow have teamed up for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been a cool duo,
and they played on that. I really like how they played on that. The best friend aspect.
Yes. I like that.
Really nice with that. Mm-hmm.
I did too. Although it'd be nice to see that best friends come out in another film with Hal and Oliver. I would like to see that too.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay, that's my score, and I'm sticking to. I enjoyed it. Do I think it's worth seeing? Yeah, I do think it's worth seeing. Do I think it's worth being, having as part of your HBO Max subscription, and you should see it? Yeah. If you have the subscription, you need to see it. If you enjoy superheroes, you do need to see it. Yes.
I'm kind of disappointed I waited so long to watch it. Actually,
it came out last year.
20. Yeah, 20. Yeah, it's 20. I forget what year it is. ever since the pandemic, I don't know what the heck year it is.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
It came out last year, but it's been on HBO Max for a while now, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. And finally, you and I were looking for something for the show. I'm like, hey, let's do Green Arrow. Beware, because we had it on our list. We just kept pushing it back. Okay, well, we got this.
Yeah, because of other things popping up. Yep.
Right. So
yeah,
it's been on the list for a while, actually.
Yep.
So
all right, everybody, just heads up. We're
spoilerific territory.
We are moving into spoilerific territory. Spoilers. Okay, man. I want to hear it. Gibby, what was your favorite part or your biggest spoilery thing?
Well, I mean, I was completely shocked when I realized where we were heading with the story, as I said earlier.
I guess we should give a story breakdown for everybody now that we're in the spoilerific territory.
Sure. So we start off, actually, when it started off, I almost felt like they were stealing Hal Jordan's origin. And I was like, oh, no. And at that point, I was like, I'm not going to like this. If we steal Hal's origin, I'm going to hate this. So, they set it up with John. John, he's kind of living in a down and out area, and he's not doing so great. And he goes shopping, and of course, he comes across some bad guys while shopping, and he takes them down, which was great. That was cool. It established really quick that John was ex-military, and then he gets arrested for beating these guys up. I was like, oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
Right.
How can you arrest him? He's the one that saved the store clerk and everything. But then they find out, oh, wait, he's a veteran.
Medal of Honor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Medal of Honor. We can't touch this guy. We touch this guy, we're going to be crucified,
Right.
So they let him go and everything. And then we see a ship crashing to Earth. And my first thought was, that better not be a Ben Sur. If that's a Ben Sur, I'm going to turn this off and we're going to find something else to review. Because Hal's origin is a Ben Sur, who's another Green Lantern. He crashes on Earth. He dies. And in his death, he gives over the Green Lantern ring to Hal, the Green Lantern ring chooses Hal at that point, and Hal becomes the next Green Lantern. Okay, so I thought that's where we were going, but then when John gets to the ship, it's not just any alien; it's one of the Guardians. Mm-hmm. So, and the Guardians are they're like the little like a wizard, the Wizard of Oz, like the Munchkins. although they're all powerful, okay,
right,
and they control the entire Green Lantern Corps, and the Green Lantern Corps is kind of like the galactic police, is what they are. So anyway, there is actually a Guardian on board, which I was shocked. I was like, "Ooh, Guardians don't leave Oa. Oa is their planet, by the way.
Right.
OA, and it's pronounced Oa." Took me a long time to learn that was actually pronounced. So yeah, I was shocked. I'm like, wait a minute, why is a Guardian leaving Oa? This is highly unusual, and then the Guardian basically chooses John Stewart, and he dies and literally disintegrates, and the ring goes to John, and John's like, what is this? What's going on? All the questions you would have, and all that. So once I saw that it was not Hal's origin being repurposed for John Stewart, I was happy. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. We can go on now.
Yeah. I thought it was intriguing. And And then, so go ahead. Sorry.
So we have that, and then John's, the ring kind of takes over, and the ring is great because it talks and it kind of gives him.
I like that.
Instruction.
I like that. Yeah,
I absolutely love that the ring talks. It's so cool, and it gave it a whole personality on top of it. They did a fantastic job with that. Yeah. But and of course John is hesitant and he doesn't want it. He's like, I don't want this. I don't want to, I don't want to be no kind of hero and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And like you, Steven, I'm sitting there going, what? You don't want the power of I want the power of a Green Lantern.
Right.
If I could do all of the amazing things that a Green Lantern can do, that'd be awesome.
Right.
I mean, they can literally construct anything with that ring. It's just it's incredible. It's a great character. Just so much fun, Mm-hmm. So then he ends up going to the Justice League inadvertently. The ring basically takes him to the Justice League,
which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that was very cool. Although, okay, so he goes up to the Justice League satellite up in space and literally just walks right onto the satellite. Now, don't you think the Justice League's security would stop him?
Well, they referenced that because they said, oh, the system must have realized he was a Green Lantern, and that's why it didn't.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess just because he is a Green Lantern. But it seems like, I don't know. To me, it seems like there should be some kind of failsafe because what if he doesn't have good intentions? What,
right.
You don't know this Green Lantern,
Mm-hmm.
You know Hal Jordan, yes, but you don't know, at least at this point, you didn't know John Stewart. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of,
I thought it was interesting when he got there. And one of the shocks that I had was that it was Hal Jordan's ring.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, what?
Right. Because at that point, and we as Green Lantern fans know the only way the ring leaves is if the Green Lantern dies.
Yeah. And I was like,
right. So it's at that point we're going, wait a minute, what happened to Hal then? And of course, Oliver, Green Arrow, he's the same way. He's like, wait a minute, where's Hal? Because Hal should have that ring. And he knows the same thing. He knows that a Green Lantern has to die for the ring to leave them. So, and Oliver being Hal's best friend, he's shocked, freaked out, and wants to know what the heck's going on. Mm-hmm. So, and then of course, they have the ring fly them to Oa, which I thought was fantastic. I mean, that made complete sense too. It's like, because John's like, well, how are we going to get to this other planet? And Oliver's like, well, have the ring take you. The ring knows how to get to the planet.
Right.
I thought that was
great.
Perfect.
It was good.
I love that. So then we go to Oa, and we find Oa's been destroyed for the most part. Just decimated.
I know. I was just like, whoa, what story are we in? What story are we involved in? You know what I mean?
And I did not put it together even there of what story we were going into, I was just like, whoa, what is going on here? What the heck destroyed all of Oa? That's whatever that is. That's pretty powerful, so eventually we get to Sinestro, which of course is the greatest Green Lantern enemy ever.
Yes.
Arguably one of DC's greatest enemies, period. I really rank Sinestro high up in the DC villain category. He is one of my all-time favorites. Probably him, Joker. Shoot. I mean, he's just so good. Lex Luthor is incredible, of course. DC's got some amazing villains, but Sinestro is one of the tops. He really is. And So I was happy that Sinestro is in here, and I forget who voiced Sinestro.
I will say it's one of the things I wish the Ryan Reynolds, which we've done, the whole Green Lantern movie we've talked about, but I was looking forward to the sequel with the Sinestro story. They play that off really well, and I was like, oh, this looks so good.
And technically the bad guy was the same sort of in here that he was in the movie, only in here they did it more correct, I'll say.
Rick D. Wasserman.
Yes, Rick D. Wasserman was the voice of Sinestro. Fantastic job, by the way.
Great job.
Great job. The only one who would be better would have been the guy that played him in the Green Lantern film.
Mark Strong.
Yeah, Mark Strong. Oh my gosh, that guy's incredible.
He was the narrator for Werewolf by Night.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's got some crazy hair too. He's got some big crazy hair.
Which guy is the narrator for Werewolf by Night?
Rick
Wasserman.
Wasserman.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks. We were talking about Mark Strong, so I lost track there for a second.
Sorry, I didn't mean to confuse you there.
It doesn't take much nowadays.
It's probably your work schedule.
Just maybe.
Your head's a little fuzzy.
Yep. Okay, so I really want to take time to talk about. I need your help.
Okay.
The biggest reveal of this film, the biggest shocker for me. I got to talk about it. About it.
So they show Sinestro, and you're thinking, okay, well, Sinestro's our big bad here. Well,
which was great. I thought so too. I was like, I got it. He's got his rogue of villains, and those are the people that I was talking about that I wish I knew more about them because I like them.
Okay. See, I thought you were talking about Adam Strange and
well, Adam Strange too. To be open with you,
I don't know a lot about Adam Strange. I'm not, I'm not up on that character very much.
Right.
I didn't really care though, honestly. So
it was hard to get behind him because they're like, "Oh, Adam Strange is back." Well, who's Adam Strange?
Right.
It was really hard to make a connect with him. I'm back. Who are you? What, Anyway,
yeah,
go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
For me, I was more focused on Green Lantern and Green Arrow. It's like I don't care about Adam Strange anyway, so whatever.
Right.
He's just a vehicle to get us, to the next scene. That's all. That's the way I looked at it.
And to move the story along.
Right.
Hey, scan me. It's me. And then, okay, I'll tell you everything.
But Sinestro turned out, so like when you're playing video games, okay? Who's Negan? Who's Negan? Anyway. So when you're playing video games, you always have that one guy that's really hard to beat just before you get to the big baddie to end the level.
Yes.
Well, that's who Sinestro was. He was that guy.
Right. For those who have played Mortal Kombat, the first video game, you thought Goro, the four-armed guy, was the big bad at the end, only to realize there was a bigger baddie at the end.
Right. And then it turns out it's revealed that the big baddie was Hal Jordan himself.
That blew my mind.
Yeah. I loved it because
I did.
He was Parallax.
Yeah, which threw me for a loop.
Well, okay. I know.
I explained it.
I knew who Parallax was. I mean, I know the story behind Parallax, and I know Hal Jordan becomes Parallax in the comic books. That's where the movie went. That's where the movie went wrong. Parallax was not Hal Jordan, and I know you can't really turn Hal into the bad guy in the first film. Yeah, I get it, but that's why you don't use Parallax as the first enemy either. That's just a bad idea, That's where in my opinion, where the movie fell apart, where the live action movie fell apart with Ryan Reynolds. Other than that, I actually don't think that film is as bad as we all,
as people make fun of it. Yeah.
Right. Which you and I went over the Green Lantern film too.
Yeah.
We went and revisited that last year. I think it was.
I think so. Yeah.
The 10th anniversary or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So yeah, but it gave me the scene, the scene that every Green Lantern fan wants where Hal starts collecting all of the Lantern's rings, and he's got that crazy look on his face, and he's got both hands up, and he's got like 2 rings on every finger. And there's a comic book with that as the cover. And it's just, it's such an amazing cover.
Look at that.
It's beautiful artwork. And we get that scene, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Every Green Lantern fan is going, yes, this is one of the things I want. So now I got a question. When did you realize that Hal was no longer Hal?
Oh, when he killed the first person.
Right off?
I was like, something's not right.
Yeah,
kind
I
of a thing.
questioned it, but I wasn't sure yet. But yeah, I did question it, which so does Oliver. Oliver's like, whoa, wait a minute. You killed a guy. And Oliver knows that Hal Jordan would never do that at all, period. So, I sort of bought, because, okay, we get reintroduced to Hal Jordan. He said, he basically said he did survive. I forget. I guess he sent the ring out for help or something like that.
He sent the ring out to get out of, so Sinestro couldn't have it.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
At least that was his story anyway. That was the story he used. Which even that, I was like, I don't know, this is weird. And then he kills a guy, and then when he tells his little story, he's like, look, these guys have been holding me hostage, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, it's sort of viable, but it's
I agree. I was there too. But
how?
That's
then when he
for
kills the next guy, I looked at Brenda, I go, that's not Hal. There's no way that's Hal. Something's wrong here. So I started to feel it at that point. It's like, yeah, this is our bad guy. This is what's going on here. He's actually, but I did not realize they were going into Parallax. It just, something didn't click with me. I probably should have saw it right then that, oh, wait, this is the Parallax version of Hal Jordan. That's exactly.
Okay.
Now, my only disappointment really is, so in the comic books, after Hal gets over being Parallax, after they finally defeat Parallax, Hal actually becomes Spectre. And I would have loved to seen that happen at the end of this, where Hal actually becomes the Spectre. That would have been incredible. But
I'm not familiar with that. Interesting.
Yeah. He actually becomes the Spectre for a while, which, again, he becomes super powerful, too. He's even way more powerful as a Spectre than he is even as Green Lantern. So in Green Lantern, he's pretty darn powerful. And, of course, Parallax, he's really powerful, too.
Right.
So that's my only complaint. But, I mean, to have Parallax in here, and then have both have Oliver and John, Hawkgirl, and Adam Strange defeat Parallax. I thought that was fun. It
was great fight sequence. Yes. Yeah. I loved his look, Hal Jordan's look, Parallax with all the rings and stuff. Loved it.
Although look up what he looks like in the comic books. I mean, they did a great job on the animated, but he does look better in the comic books.
Okay.
And again, I'm not taking anything away from the animated. It was done well. And he did look very good, but there's just something I like a little bit better. It's a little more refined in the comic books, and to me it looks just a little bit better. But yeah, he did look great. And the scene with him with the rings, that is just
oh yeah.
That's jaw dropping right there. As a Green Lantern fan, that's jaw dropping scene.
Right.
So overall, I think this is a great animated film.
Yep.
Good addition to the DC animated universe. Aldous Hodge did a fantastic job as John Stewart, and I love the fact that he's the Hawkman in Black Adam. I thought he did an incredible job as Hawkman also. So just to have him, I guess technically he returned as Hawkman because that came out after this came out. It was released after this, and then Jimmy Simpson played the voice of Green Arrow. Incredible job. We had a very short stint with Martian Manhunter on the Justice League satellite. Ike Amati, he was great as Martian Manhunter. I love that character too. He's just Martian Manhunter. I love it when he's holding Hal and he stretches his neck around like Plastic Man.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
Right.
I've never seen Martian Manhunter do that before, but that was cool. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, overall, I really enjoy this film. I think it's a great film. And if you are a Green Lantern fan, I highly recommend it. If you're wanting to dip your toes into the Green Lantern universe, I think this is a good spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I enjoyed it. It made me want to know more of the lore and the story surrounding Green Lantern, because I had no idea. I had no idea that Green Lantern was Parallax, and just super powerful. I had no idea that Hal Jordan. Well, even when you said today, the whole thing with Spectre and stuff, I grant that's not in the movie, but it's been an interesting conversation that makes me want to know more. It's like, wow, this is really interesting stuff. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
So that just tells me we got to cover some more Green Lantern.
I guess so. Do you know what series this movie entailed?
I have no idea. I don't know what comic story because it's loosely based on the Parallax story, but and I've read the Parallax, but it's been years since I read it. I just don't remember John being as big a player in that story as he was in the movie. And they take liberty with some of these animated projects. They
do. I was surprised they killed him off.
I was too. And especially being. They even say in the movie that Hal Jordan was the greatest Green Lantern in the universe, which I love because John's like, "Oh yeah, how am I going to live up to that?"
Yeah, which was good, and it set up the big fight sequence at the end too.
Right.
Like, how's he going to beat him? Now he's the greatest Green Lantern, but now he's got how many rings on his fingers, and he looks like he's in God mode, kind of a thing.
Oh well, he even says he's now a god. So which wow.
Right.
Yeah. I enjoy the Green Lantern. I like it very much.
Yeah.
So.
Power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely. Nice. Good quote there. Good quote. Okay. So overall, I think we both enjoyed the movie quite a bit.
I did enjoy it. I sure did.
Right.
Yes.
I didn't realize that Green Arrow was in it until they showed him. And I was like, oh, Steven's going to like this because I know that you're a Green Arrow fan. So,
yeah. I love me some Green Arrow.
So I was like, great. I picked the right movie then.
Right. And how they portrayed Green Arrow was good too.
Yeah. He was a kind of all around good guy in this,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes Green Arrow can be portrayed as a jerk, at times. It just depends on the story. Honestly.
They gave him good wit and sarcasm that was not rude, if that makes sense.
He was a very likable character in this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm glad of that too. I think you kind of needed that because John at this point is a little stiff, which it makes sense. He's just starting out. So if you got kind of that stiff, rigid character, you need somebody who's going to be. So John's the straight man, and then Arrow is, that's what it was. Honestly,
yeah. Who was it? Jerry Lewis and
Dean Martin.
Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis. Yeah. Abbott Costello. I'm tracking with you. Okay.
And it looked like they were building up to where John is going to have a decent relationship with Oliver like he did with Hal, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'd be quite the same, which it shouldn't. You know, they're different people. Their relationships will be slightly different, but it looks like they're building to a good friendship, which I enjoy that. That's cool.
Yep.
All right.
Very much so. All right, everybody. Well, cool. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. Any last thoughts, Mike?
Just that if you like Green Arrow, I think this movie's up your alley.
Right on.
Did it sound right?
It sure did. It sounded good to me.
Okay.
By golly. So, yeah. And so, real quick, what do we have coming down the pike for people who've made it this far and want to let them know?
Okay. So next week, I don't know if we really talked beyond next week yet, but next week we're going to go back into Star Wars. And I figured, since there's a lot of talk about Grand Admiral Thrawn upcoming in the Ahsoka series, and she even mentions the awesome title of "He is the heir to the Empire," I thought we should go back and cover Timothy Zahn's fantastic novel that already kind of gives you a clue of what my rating is going to be of that book.
Right.
Heir to the Empire. So next week we're going to cover Heir to the Empire.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
That sounds some good stuff right there. That sounds good. Okay. Are we also, everybody, we're also talking about, we'd love to get your feedback on, because I love John Wick so much, and we already talked about John Wick a little bit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mike had that great idea to do the Berserker series, Keanu Reeves Berserker series. So if you're interested in that, let us know. Kind of excited about that. And he's got all the books. Yes. So
I'm holding up the cover to the volume 1 of Berserker, which has issues 1 through 4 in it. Or yeah, I think 1 through 4.
Right. So yeah, we're talking about that. And then
beautiful cover too, by the way.
Oh, it's great artwork. Really good. Then also we have discussed doing the Cyborg versus who did we say? The Deathlock. I almost said Deadshot, and I was like, that's not right.
That came from Mr. Brian Ramsey. That was his thought when we did the Cyborg versus Iron Man. He felt that actually Deathlock was a better matchup to Cyborg than Iron Man.
Much more better.
I got barely any coffee, and it's cold. I didn't have any ice to make my iced coffee. Now I got iced coffee de facto. Anyway. No, Mr. Brian Ramsey had said that he felt that Deathlock was a little bit better matchup for Cyborg, and I thought that could be a interesting way for us to start our new rating system. So we
our versus series.
Yeah, we developed a rating system for our versus series. So we will
Mike,
have
everybody. Mike's done the work on that. I can't say we did it. Mike did it and did a great job with it, by the way.
I say we collect.
Hey, everybody. Well, welcome to the show. I'm just kidding. So all of a sudden we just lost Mike. So that's weird. He all froze up. I know Megan's still active. I see her and stuff. So she's still active behind the scenes. So isn't that interesting? So, hey, everybody, thank you for joining us for the show. Brian Ramsey, Brian, if you're listening to this, remember that we want to have you on there because it was your idea to create this system. So we thought that was kind of cool. And while Mike's trying to get things fixed on his end, I also want to say this. Thank you for joining us. Please check out our website at 2geeksmike.com. Oh, wait, we're rebuilding that site. So for right now, we are rebuilding that. But if you want to actually help support us and check out our site, go to ko-fi.com/2geeks. There you will see where you can support us. I'm pretty excited. We're working on some other things for that. You're going to see all kinds of new stuff, and it's all part of our website too that connects with that. So pretty excited about that. If you want to connect with us, feel free to send us an email at show@2geeksmike.com, show@2geeksmike.com. Now I want to say this. If you are interested, if you've never have, tried Audible, I would encourage you to do so. Audible has a collection of thousands upon thousands of audiobooks, and they are great. And you can do a subscription service with them where you get 1 credit per month for any audiobook of your choice. Doesn't matter how long it is, doesn't matter how short it is. I've been able to use my 1 credit for books that are 38 hours long. Ooh. Any kind of genre. It could be learning language. It's just one of those that I bought that had a lot. Learning languages. It could be big, huge fantasy epics. Speaking of which, we've talked about Star Wars. And we've even talked about some other Star Wars ones that we've enjoyed, has been the Shakespeare Star Wars, which have been really good. So here's how it works. If you go to www.audibletrial.com/2geeks, TWOGEEKS, I want to encourage you to check that out, because you can get your first 30 days for free. FREE, free 90 free. You get 1 free credit to use for any book of your choice. You're not limited, and you can try it out and see if you like it. The other part that I want to encourage you on is that in the Audible trial, if you decide to continue, that's about $14.99 a month, but you also get access to the Audible Plus catalog, which has all kinds of free audiobooks, classics and instructions and all kinds of different things. So it's really nice. It's just a nice subscription service that is great if you enjoy listening to books. I do, because I'm usually on the go, or I'm in situations where I just can't sit down and read. So love it and enjoy it. So check us out there. If you do sign up and try that, it does help us. We just get a little bit of revenue off that, but help support the show in order to pay for the services. And evidently it looks like we're going to have to get a new computer for Mike, because his just crashed, but he's back.
No, I don't need a new computer. I just got unplugged. That's all. I think it got wrapped around. I think my plug got wrapped around Megan's chair and somehow got unplugged. So, but anyway, make sure you go like us on Facebook. I try to post a lot of fun memes and stuff like that, and of course you get announcements and stuff of things that we got coming up on Facebook a lot of times. And give the little bell a tickle. Subscribe to us here on YouTube so that you will know of any upcoming broadcasts that we have coming up. And of course, like us on YouTube also. That helps the friendly, or maybe not so friendly, algorithm of YouTube.
They keep changing it. So, but either way, just like and subscribe, because I one of the things I really like about having this podcast and actually moving into the YouTube space has been creating a community, or not creating, but joining a community of people who really enjoy the information. And we've made great new friendships. And so we would love for you to be a part of that. So so it's been a lot of fun, and it is a fun journey. So, all right, Mike, well, I'm all done. Anything else you need to say, and you can close us out?
The only thing I have left to say is, in brightest day and darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,